All right, welcome back to Wine and Wine Real Estate Uncorked. Until further notice, we're still thinking about some different names. So again, if you have any suggestions on what we could update our name to, we would love your thoughts around that. But welcome back. We are diving into the current state of the market and also talking about some seller fears in the market. So we have taken a bit of a poll regards what conversations we're hearing, some fears of why people may be holding back on selling or waiting on conversations. So we want to jump right into that.
Sure.
The first thing, I had a conversation over the weekend with someone who has been in their home about 15 years. They love their neighborhood. Their kids grew up there, but the house just doesn't fit their life anymore. And they admitted that they feel stuck.
That word keeps coming up, that people they feel stuck. And what's interesting is that in most Bay Area homes, they're certainly not stuck financially because equity positions have grown dramatically over the years and continue to grow. And I think that the people are sitting on significant equity, but they're like kind of being paralyzed by, what if?
Right.
What if?
Yeah.
What if?
And that was the exact conversation with the person that I was speaking in regards to. And don't worry, I won't share all of your story because I know you listen to this podcast. But, exactly. So what if prices go higher? What if rates drop more? What if I can't find something else? And the real question is, how certain are you that staying put is actually the safest move?
And I'll add one more to that too. Some people are frozen by the loan they have in place.
Right.
One of those low interest rate loans. So, but the thing is today we're going to kind of walk through some of the safety nets that we're building for our sellers and for sellers out there that want help, so that they can move from being stuck to being settled.
I love it.
Yeah.
Let's go. So the first thing we're going to talk about is waiting just a little more, right? So.
Well, it's one more thing we're hearing is that I'll sell when prices go up a little more.
A little more. So that makes sense, but help me understand, are they waiting for a higher sales price or are you waiting for clarity?
Well, as I see it, you have three options. You can wait for prices to rise further. You could stay where you are, or you could explore what your equity would do for you for your next move.
Right.
And I always like to ask the question is what if prices don't go up?
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yes.
And sometimes the win isn't squeezing the last dollar. It's the win is lowering your dollars, right? Your monthly expenses, reducing maintenance, or increasing flexibility. It's just like how we moved from Morgan Hill back to San Jose, right?
Right.
All of those factored in. Traffic. There's lots of different pieces to the puzzle that help make sense more so than the dollar for dollar.
Sure.
I want to wait a little longer.
And we'll explore a few of those as we go forward. But one of them, too, is that many sellers fear that they're going to have tax issues, tax consequences from selling, capital gains, etc.
Right.
So that's a big fear.
So just out of curiosity, do most homeowners realize that their gain has protection around it?
Probably not. I mean, everyone knows about some protections, but of course, there's the capital gains exemptions for singles of $250,000 and married couples of $500,000, and that may even improve better with the current administration in the White House because they're talking about no capital gains on sales and maybe up to $1 million because it hasn't been adjusted. We talked about that previously. It hasn't been adjusted since 1997.
Which would make dramatic improvements in our market. You think the market's been wild in the past. That would be crazy.
So, and the other thing, too, is that how about when they move, if they're over 55, what about their property taxes?
Yeah, because Prop 19 allows homeowners that are 55 and older, right, to move within the state of California.
Up to 3 times, after age 55, anywhere in California. And there's other caveats that come with Prop 19, but the basic one is that you could take your property tax base with you, and you could purchase higher. You're going to pay a little premium for what you sold for and what you bought, difference, but you're going to keep that low tax base that you had when you're selling your house. So
right. So you can keep your tax base and get into a home that is better suited for your lifestyle at the moment. So that's a win. So one of the big things I know that we hear often too is the overwhelm in the thought of the actual move itself, selling the house, all of those items combined. We've kind of beat this one over and over within our podcast of wait, don't do anything until we talk to you.
Why? Because we do it all.
I know. And people will say, well, I need to get this done before we even have you over. I need to do all these repairs. My husband or wife needs to do this. And, or, you know, they have all these intentions that need to be checked before we get in there. And again, don't do anything. Talk to us first.
Right. Because it seems overwhelming because you think you have to do it alone.
Right.
And you don't have to do it alone. That's what we do, is that we help take that stress out of that, you know, taking the stress out of a stressful situation.
Right. And part of what we do when we meet with you is making sure that we're getting the return that you want on any of the repairs or improvements. All of that stuff is going to make sense versus just thinking that you're going to remodel, you know, and then make sure that you're getting your money out of it.
Right, exactly. Because not all things retain in the sales price. You know, when you make an improvement, sometimes let's just pretend it's a bathroom. It might come back in the sales price, but it might not.
And, you know, I do open houses all the time. And I can't tell you how many times buyers come in and say it's refreshing that you haven't completely remodeled the house, because a lot of times people are doing the open house or are getting the listings and putting in, you know, the gray and the white and the, you know, they're making it very basic so that buyers can come in and make it their own. But buyers do, not all times, there are many buyers that do like completely remodeled as well. Yeah. But oftentimes buyers would like to utilize that money savings on the property and put those in themselves. Yeah. So I get comments like that all the time. I mean,
it's it's an interesting paradox because, you know, we want to make the property present itself in the best possible way. And sometimes we'll put in new carpeting and everything else. And then the person moves in and tears out that new carpeting.
Exactly.
But you don't know if you would have got that price had you not done that.
I know.
It's kind of it's a yin and a yang thing. You just don't know. But presenting the property in its best possible light, and again, letting us take over, letting us help with that is the best possible thing. It removes the chaos from the transaction.
Yep. Absolutely. So let's talk about, one of the biggest things, probably the biggest thing is where do I go next? Right?
Yeah, just get out. No.
You know, it's like we've even talked about, you know, where would we go next? And it's like, well, should we start going to travel places? Where are your kids going to college? But, you know, don't follow your kids to college because they're probably going to go and then want to get the hell out of there.
And in that, where do I go next? There's always the conversation that, you know, I need to sell before I can buy.
Right.
Because my money is that equity we talked about. Yep. So that's my money to purchase.
Right.
So how does that work? I mean, there's
lots of different ways for that. And I think people don't know the solutions. So this is one of those things, if you know of someone that is stuck in that way, this is a great opportunity for you to share these types of podcasts and information so that we can connect them with people that have solutions. We have solutions.
Well, we have solutions.
Yeah.
And knowing the picture, knowing the end result, you know, begin with the end in mind. We know where you want to end up. We know what you want to do. We'll get you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just had our seller that moved out of state and they had the same type of thing, right?
Yeah. They're actually closing in Portland.
I know. Yeah, it's so exciting.
By their grandchild.
But that was a big fear for them is, you know, having that next step and figuring out the steps in between.
I mean, just talking about them, they were a first-time home buyer 23 years ago.
Yep.
And now they're buying, you know, they sold their house, took their equity and bought their dream home up in Portland, close to their family. Yep. So, I mean, it happens, but it all happens for a reason and a way to do it. And we know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that this covers, you know, the basic things that people are concerned with in today's market. We wanted to do a segment specifically on sellers and what we're hearing and real conversations that we're having, and offering, if any of these sound familiar to you or anyone that you're speaking with, you know, how open-minded would you be to having a 15-minute conversation to review safety net conversations around how we can help?
Yeah, proper planning always helps. Let me throw one more pitch in here, if you will. On the Prop 19, check out the inherited home solutions that we have.
Inherited home solutions.
We have going on Instagram, because I'm going to do a whole thing on Prop 19. It's changed dramatically. While you get to take your tax base with you, there's a whole lot that comes with it. So
that is a new Instagram, YouTube solution that we have going, and it's been wildly popular so far. I'm very excited for that new venture we have going. There's some great great information that you can share. And then also, if this has helped you, please share it with someone who you may feel might be stuck in those situations.
Perfect.
Clarity creates confidence in this and in the marketplace. So thank you so much for joining us for another Wine and Wine Real Estate Uncorked. We appreciate your support, and we'll be back next month with specific information we're hearing from buyers.
Perfect.
So thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.